All of these prompts are spooky. Oh, the one that's the most highly rated, I'm doing a really poor job of explaining these clearly. Don't mind my candlesticks moving for no reason. Spooky season. Hey, my name's Hannah. Today we're picking my October TBR. Let me preface, I don't usually look like this. I am going out immediately after this, but you're welcome. So in today's video, we're going to be letting a TBR prompt wheel choose my TBR. And if that's just not so exciting, then I don't know what is. This is absolutely my favourite video to film. And I'm just glad you're here. And let's do this. Let's just do it together because I'm excited, and let me show you here. We have a whole wheel. I'm excited and I hope that you are as well, because all of these prompts are spooky. They are sort of like related to spooky season, and I have so many books that I want to read in the next 31 days. Maybe we'll do 7 prompts again. I did 6 prompts last month. I don't know, I guess it just depends what the prompts bring us. We'll start with 6 and then we'll maybe have 7. But anyway, let's just crack on. We're going to spin for prompt number 1. This is an academy or trial setting. Okay. That was so easy. I'm sure there are so many books on here that would fit this prompt, but the way that this book is screaming to me to be read, like immediately, I don't even need to look at anything else because the only book I want to read is this. And that is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. And if you haven't seen this book doing the rounds this year, then honestly, you're lying. Or you're blind, or you know, something's not right, because I've seen this everywhere. I specifically most recently saw Kalila read this. It was a video where she was recommended by one of her friends to read their favourite books, and Kalila sobbed. She felt extremely attached to this book, and it references and nods to some of the modern day issues that we have, and it just looked amazing. She made me want to pick it up literally immediately, so that's what I'll be doing in October. This book says on the back, for 20 years Sayona has devoted every waking moment to the study of magic. When she finally achieves her ambition to become the first woman admitted to the High Magistracy at the University of Magics and Industry, she finds herself undetermined at every turn. Instead of a lab assistant, she's paired with a janitor, putting her crucial research at risk. But Tamil wasn't always a janitor. Once a nomadic hunter from the wild plains outside the city, he now sees a chance to understand the forces that decimated his tribe and drove him from his homeland. Together they will uncover an ancient secret that could change the course of magic forever if it doesn't get them killed first. My understanding of this book is that we have what I believe is a spellograph, and this is linked to all of the magic in this world. She's admitted to the High Magistracy at the University of Magics and Industry, so that would indeed be some sort of academy setting. So how exciting! The first book that, yeah, it is the first book that I'm going to be reading in October is Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wong. Yay! Oh, I saw Freya, she screen recorded, so let me just bloody do that for you because that seems like a much better way to do this. Let's spin for prompt number 2. A thriller. A thriller. Yes, please. Okay. I have many a thriller on this shelf that I could pick. I've pulled out a few options. The first one is We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and on the back this says, "We are liars, we are beautiful and privileged, we are cracked and broken, a tale of love and romance, a tale of tragedy. Which are lies, which is truth, you decide." That doesn't really tell me much, does it? Do we have any other sort of blurb in here? We've got a map. That's definitely interesting. Not the usual for a thriller book. Am I right in thinking that this is a thriller? I have absolutely nothing other than that. The only thing that I know about this book is that it is popular, and it must have been extremely popular at one point because it's been made into a screen adaptation, I believe. So this is option number 1. Just frustrated that it's not giving me much to go by on the back here. Option number 2 is Jar of Heart by Jennifer Hillier. Is that right? Yes, it is. Go me. This is actually my sister's book, and she has recommended this to me, but also Beth Morvan If you don't know Beth and you are in any way intrigued by thrillers and mysteries and even like that odd, just sort of like random reads, Beth is the channel to follow because she is honestly hilarious. I laugh out loud at some of her videos. She's just the most wonderful lady. She also recommended this book, and it is a serial killer thriller, and we have a lady whose ex-boyfriend actually is a serial killer and he's killing people off one by one and he's coming back to her. That's my understanding of this book, and if that is not just the perfect read for spooky season, then I just don't know what it is. I think, yeah, without a doubt, this is the book that I'm gonna pick up for this prompt, which is a thriller book, because I have been really excited to get to this, and I'm thinking about doing a video where I read my favourite YouTubers' favourite books. And I know that Beth recommends this, but to be honest, it might not be one of her favourites, but maybe it will be a books recommended by my favourite YouTubers. So for a thriller book, we're going to be picking up Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier. Let's do prompt number 3. A book with leaves on the cover. Okay. That is just leaning into autumn, fall, if you're American. Fall. I don't know why, but when I say fall, I can't just say fall. I have to say fall. Oh, this is going to be a really hard one. So I actually have 3 books potentially for this, and I'm going to be honest, I want to read all 3 of them this month, so let's have a look. The first one that I have is Kindling by Bonnie Woods. It says, our grumpy Scottish woodsman, oh no, it doesn't say that. That's not what it says. Hannah doesn't have her contact lenses in. One grumpy Scottish woodsman, one uprooted city girl, one autumn that changes everything. A snug autumnal retreat in the Highlands is the perfect escape for Harper until she is stranded in the forest with nowhere to stay. Fraser, a gruff local woodcutter, reluctantly offers her his lumberjack's cabin on one condition: she mustn't distract him from his duties. But Fraser is finding his beautiful guest annoyingly hard to ignore, and the way he chops firewood, dogged, powerful, precise, is distracting Harper too. Soon as the flame red leaves start to fall overhead, Harper and Fraser are both forced to wonder, am I falling faster? Does that not just sound cute? And I am obsessed with the fact that on the cover here we have some, what should we call it, a little bit more diverse representation in terms of female body types, because this lady here, she's not a size 6, and these are the things that we love to see, and it's small things. But I've read books where they talk about the ladies in the books not being a size 8, but they don't necessarily reflect that on the cover, and yeah, absolutely love that we're doing this for the mid-size girlies. Loving that. So this is option number 1. Option number 2 is, it is literally a must read this season, so even if I don't pick it for this prompt, I will be reading it by the end of November, and that is of course A Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laura Gilmore. And to be honest, I actually don't know a lot about this book. All I know is that it has foiled leaves on the cover, so it fits the prompt, and yeah, pumpkin spice season. And that's what we're in, so we're just gonna have to read this season. This says, when Jeannie's aunt gives her the beloved Pumpkin Spice Cafe in the small town of Dream Harbour, Jeannie jumps at the chance for a fresh start away from her very dull desk job. Logan is a local farmer who avoids Dream Harbour's gossip at all costs, but Jeannie's arrival disrupts Logan's routine and he wants nothing to do with the irritatingly upbeat new girl except that he finds himself inexplicably drawn to her. Will Jeannie's happy-go-lucky attitude win over the grumpy but gorgeous Logan, or has this city girl found the one person in town who won't fall for her charm or her pumpkin spice lattes? It sounds cute. It does. Does it sound cuter than Kindling? I'm not sure, but we'll be reading it anyway this month. This is option number 2 for this prompt. Option number 3 is taking a little bit of a turn. Definitely not the same vibe, but it is in fact One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. I was going to say, I don't know what I was going to say. This book, I literally cannot cope with how floppy it is. It is wonderfully floppy, and I am just so happy that this is in my possession, but I can't make it into one of those books that I'm just really happy to own. I need to find out if it's a book that I actually love, because if not, this needs to be gifted to somebody else to enjoy, because it is just stunning. It is like American paperback sized, it is floppy, it is beautiful, and should we find out together what it's about? In New York City, 2 rival witch families fight for the upper hand. Witches? Okay. The Antonova sisters are beautiful, cunning and ruthless, and their mother, known as Baba Yaga, is an elusive supplier of premium intoxicants. Their advisor is the influential Federer of brothers, served their crime boss father, named Koschei and Deathless, whose enterprise dominates the shadows of magical Manhattan. For 12 years, the families have maintained a fraught stalemate, then everything is thrown into disarray. Bad blood carries them to the brink of disaster, even as fate draws together a brother and sister from either side. Yet the siblings still struggle for power, and internal conflicts could destroy each family from within. That is, if the enmity between empires doesn't destroy both sides first. Yeah, I want to try Olivia Blake's writing, and I'm really excited to get to this season, but is it going to be the one for this prompt? Just in case you can't actually see, there are leaves on the cover here with this rose. So we have Olivia Blake, One for My Enemy, Laurie Gilmore, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, or Kindling by Bonnie Woods. I think I'm gonna go with the Kindling. It's not called The Kindling, it's called Kindling. For a book with leaves on the cover, just in case I didn't make that super clear, there is obviously tons of leaves around here, I'm going to be picking Kindling by Bonnie Woods. Let's spin for prompt number 4. A book collecting dust. That could mean a lot of things, to be honest. Obviously I have lots of books on my TBR that have been here for a while. So let's have a look and see what we might have had the longest. I've decided that I think I want to go with a thriller for this prompt, because I have some hardback thrillers down here that I have had maybe since like February, March, and they're just still sat there unread. By the way, this whole bookshelf is all my unread books. So yeah, maybe it's time that we pick one of these up. You see, the one that's the most highly rated on Goodreads, because I did check, is actually called The Scarlet Papers, and you know, I can't even remember what this is about. Oh, we follow a few different people. It says Vienna 1946, a brilliant German scientist snatched from the ruins of Nazi Europe. Moscow 1964, a US diplomat caught in the clandestine love affair as the Cold War rages. Riga 1992, a Russian archivist selling secrets that will change the 20th century forever. London the present day, a British academic on the run with the chance to solve one of history's greatest mysteries. Their stories, their lives and the fate of the world are bound by a single manuscript. A document featured and whispered about in capitals across the globe. In its pages history will be rewritten. It's only ever known as the Scarlet Papers. The devastating secrets contained within are teased by a brief invitation. Tomorrow 11 AM take a cab, pay in cash, tell no one. The only thing about this is I don't think it's giving spooky, it's giving history. And I don't know if that's the vibe. So we're going to put this one back. There is one more book that I speed dated in my TBR video, and that is The Woman on the Ledge. This is by Ruth Mancini, and I have read this synopsis before, but essentially my understanding is that the female main character in this, I believe, is being set up for murder, and obviously here we have a woman on a ledge, so it's about what happened to her. Was it suicide? What's the deal? So yeah, I think for a book collecting dust, we're gonna pick we're gonna pick The Woman on the Ledge, a tragic incident on murder by Ruth Mancini. Okay, we're going into prompt number 5. This is an anticipated read. It's finally time. It's time for us to revisit the Gods and Monsters series. I imagine that you have heard of the Book of Azrael, and it was, honestly, that series is one of my favourite reads of this year so far, and I understand that the 4th book is coming out in October, late October I believe, and I'm still to read the 3rd book. I didn't want to rush into it after I read the 1st and 2nd book because, well, it just felt like a really long time until the 4th one was coming. So we actually have here The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole, and I probably need to do a little bit of a recap of the series before I pick this up, but I am pretty much guaranteed to love this, and I'm honestly, like, I'm so excited to read it and to continue this series, but I'm just so scared because this is just a book full of wrath and craziness, and honestly it's just so wild but so entertaining, and I love our main characters. If you don't know what the Book of Azrael is about, obviously it's called the Gods and Monsters series, so we do in fact have gods in these books and we have monsters, and the main monster in question is actually the female main character. What the hell is her name? Diana. So Diana has essentially at some point made a deal with the devil, who is called Caden in these books, and he basically uses her a lot because he knows that she is a monster. He created her into this sort of thing where she is essentially all powerful and she is wild and crazy and she can do a lot of damage. She can turn into different monsters. I'm doing a really poor job of explaining these books, but essentially we have a quest to find the Book of Asriel, and Diana's not really sure why she's being sent on this quest. She doesn't understand its significance or anything, but on her quest to find the Book of Asriel, she ends up coming across the gods, because I think the gods are in some way alerted that this is happening and that Caden is trying to find this book, and they know that they need to find it before he does, and an unlikely alliance forms and we go from there. It's a bit crazy and like the definition of morally grey, but if you want to be entertained and you want all the drama, this series is really great. It kind of gives, to me, like the most or more high fantasy side of fantasy that I have read, and I just think it is absolutely wild. I love it. I really do. So for a book that is an anticipated read, we're going to be picking up the third book in the Gods and Monsters series, which is The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole. Just like that, we're on prompt number 6. A book recommended by YouTube. Honestly, these prompts just want me to be doing that video. They want me to be creating my favourite YouTubers pick my reads for the week. Okay, God, where do I even begin? I'm trying to keep in mind when I'm picking these books that I want them to fit the season, because I feel like we have a really narrow time gap, like time slot here to picking the perfect reads for the season. So with that in mind, we have on here 2 fantasies, 2 thrillers and a romance. So really it could go any way, honestly. It is truly easier for me to pick a book on here that isn't recommended by YouTube than it is to pick one. Am I making any sense? Oh, fuck it. I mean, oh sod it. If you just watched me pick this book from the shelf, this could have been anticipated. You know, it could have been picked for that prompt too, because I have been meaning to pick up Red Rising for honestly so long now, and I am definitely scared by it. I've seen like an influx of people reading it on YouTube as well. I recently watched Jamie read it, and there was someone else that read it, but Jamie's sort of like review and experience of this book, it kind of like added to my sort of like uneasiness. Like, I just don't know how I feel about this book, because I did in fact try to read it maybe like January, February time, and I just wasn't in the mood for it. I didn't particularly enjoy the audiobook and I just couldn't get into it, but I was kind of slumpish at that point. So that's not on the book necessarily, but this book has definitely been recommended to me by Kalila, of course. I actually messaged Kalila a few months ago and I was like, I think I know what your answer might be, but if you were to pick a book for me to read for a video, what would it be? And she was like, why are you even asking? Obviously it's Red Rising. So yeah, sticking on that theme, we of course could pick Red Rising, because not only is it anticipated for me, I need to get round to it. I don't know if I put it on my 25 books I want to read in 2025, I don't think I did, but it should be on that list, because if not, it's just going to keep collecting dust. And I think that from what I'm hearing, the idea with this series is that you really need to get past this in order to get to the wonderfulness and the brilliance that is the rest of the series. So for a book recommended by YouTube, I'm looking at you, Kalila. We're going to pick Red Rising by Pierce Brown. Let's spin for the final prompt. I am in fact picking 7, because this is so fun. Like, if you've ever done this, you understand that it is so hard to stop. Oh, I'm stupid. I didn't take away the prompt that I've already got. I think I've removed the ones that we've had so far. Let's do this. Oh, that's cheeky, isn't it? This says a book you thought about buying. Okay. God, do you know why this is so hard? Because when I want to buy a book, I tend to go and buy it. And that's just a me problem. Okay, here's the thing. I don't really know what to say about this prompt, and I feel like when I added it to the wheel I had a thought, but now I don't know. So we are in fact gonna spin the wheel again. It's fun, right? Like, let's get something that can make me read my TBR. Past Hannah, try again, bitch. A dark romance. Okay, let me just say, one thing about me is that I don't even know if I've read a dark romance. Would I know? Like, would I know? Because I'm not sure. And I think on my actual TBR, I only have one. Well, I have two, but it's a series, and it's this. And if this doesn't look like it suits spooky season, then I just don't know what does. This is honestly a gold mine find for me, because I found this in a charity shop, brand new, this and Hideaway, and I just couldn't quite believe it. They are the heaviest books I have ever owned, so I do think that it's sort of one of the old art copies, but yeah, just not really sure how it ended up in Garforth in Leeds, but it did. And I snatched it up. So, Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I did in fact try to read Credence and I DNF'd it. So the fact that these books just sit on my shelf collecting dust, I don't know if that's the best space for them to be in. So it's probably a really good time for me to try and read this series and maybe donate them to a better home. But anyway, let's have a look together what this book says it's about. I kind of want to go in blind, but I think you guys might want to know the synopsis. So I'll read it. So we have Erica. It says, I was told that dreams were our heart's desire as my nightmares, however, became my obsession. It's giving dark romance. His name is Michael Christ. My boyfriend's older brother is like that scary movie that you peek through your hands to watch. He's handsome, strong, and completely terrifying. The star of his college's basketball team and now gone pro. He's more concerned with the dirt on his shoe than me, but I noticed him. I saw him, I heard him, the things that he did and the deeds that he hid for years. I bit my nails, unable to look away. Now I've graduated high school and moved on to college, but I haven't stopped watching Michael. He's bad, and the dirt I've seen isn't content to stay in my head any longer. There is also a little Michael section, Michael POV at the bottom of this, but I think that's enough. I think that I could easily be cringed out by the MMC in this book, because I find it much easier to dislike MMCs than I do female main characters. So let's just give Michael a chance. I'm just going to take him at face value as the words come, and we will see how we get on with this. So the final book on this month's TBR for October is actually going to be Corrupt by Penelope Douglas for a dark romance. Well, if that isn't just the perfect autumnal spooky season TBR, then I'm so excited by this stack. And Blood Up a Brighthaven, best believe I'll be reading it in a vlog, because I'm so excited to read it, and I need it right now. I need it pumped into my veins, that's what I need, and I haven't even read it yet. Let's recap, shall we? So, I can't even remember the prompts. I can't. So, sorry if you wanted them, we're not getting them. On October's TBR, we have Blood Over Brighthaven by ML Wong, Jar of Hearts by Jennifer Hillier, Kindling by Bonnie Woods, The Woman on a Ledge by Ruth Mancini, The Dawn of the Cursed Queen by Amber V. Nicole, Red Rising by Pierce Brown, oh my god, and Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. I haven't watched my TBR videos yet for the month of October, but if I see one better than this, I'll let you know. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I feel like I did a really great job at picking books that are going to be perfect for the season, and that I'm also so excited to read. And I'm just... reading is just giving me everything. It's giving me life at the minute, and it does most of the time, but right now specifically, don't mind my candlesticks moving for no reason. Spooky season. Yeah, at the minute, the way that the books are hitting, I am just obsessed, and I can't wait to read some of these books with you. If you made it this far into the video, I want you to comment a skull emoji for the last book that we picked, and obviously of course spooky season. And if you've read any of these books and you think I might be waste my time, or I'm about to be in for the time of my life, leave it in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on these books and whatever it is that you're going to be reading in October. As always, thank you so much for watching and staying with me throughout this video. If you want to find me on any other platform, they're always linked down below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.